tenfold.
Driving me through, there you go.
Under Hume's guidance, Tim returned to the UFC and is 4-0 since moving down to middleweight.
Whoa, tries for a head kick. Very nice uppercut.
Tim Bosch is one of the toughest guys in the UFC, period.
Nice trip. Oh, beautiful! That was stellar.
In his last 2 fights, the Barbarian has become the hype killer.
Tremendous round 1 for Nakami.
This is as good as we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
You can beat this guy, Tim. You've hit him. You just got to hit him more now, okay?
In February of 2012, he derailed highly ranked Yushin Okami in dramatic fashion.
Oh, he clipped him. He's got him hurt.
It's Tim
Bosch with the comeback.
Uppercut again. Both trying to finish it.
What a comeback.
And it is all over.
What a comeback.
Defeats Yushin Okami.
What a comeback.
Wow.
A lot of people said it was just like a Rocky movie, and honestly, it sort of felt like that being part of it.
Touch gloves, go back, let's do this.
No touch. Didn't even look at him. Nope.
5 months later, he took on Hector Lombard, undefeated in his last 25 fights, in Lombard's highly anticipated UFC debut.
Tim, the Barbarian Cole!
All my opponents have been looking past me. They're talking title shots. They're talking their next fight. They got to get through me first before they do any of that.
Tim is a well-rounded fighter. Obviously, he's coming from a wrestling background, but his last couple of fights, he's striking with everybody. He's kicking like a kickboxer. He's punching like a boxer.
Oh, that's a nice right hand.
A lot of my opponents, I think they encounter something they're not used to when we start fighting, and I think I just make people uncomfortable in the cage.
Nice knee by Bosch. Whoa, tries for a head kick. He's got him. Very nice uppercut.
The guy is a big, muscular guy. It's not easy when you get pushed against the fence to get away from a guy like Tim Bosch, so I would try to stay away from the fence if that's possible.
I think that my wrestling for MMA is superior to his.
Nice, beautiful takedown by Bosch.
Tim's got a ground game that people haven't even really seen yet. He's got a very high-level ground game.
The wrestling of Tim Bosch is so dominant here at 185 pounds.
They think that my ground skills are non-existent. They think I'm going to end up losing this fight because of lack of jiu-jitsu. But I'm pretty confident with my jiu-jitsu skills.
Close guard. Good elbows from the bottom by Philippou.
I'm more than capable of submitting somebody. I just choose not to. If I have a choice, I'll get up and exchange and hopefully knock somebody out.
Hammond's in big trouble.
And again.
Oh, that's it.
It's all over.
Merciful rescue.
I think Costa defends a few takedowns, and it becomes a stand-up fight, and that's where Costa's comfortable. Tim Bosch isn't going to be able to catch him.
Now it's Philippou who's stalking.
Oh, he got clipped with the uppercut.
I'm going in thinking I'm going to strike with a guy. There's an old saying that my coach used to tell me that always speed beats power, and I want to test that.
Oh, he got tagged.
Have you made it on air?
The UFC's heavyweight champion is the baddest man on the planet.
Where you can get the name out.
I am the heavyweight champion.
Junior Dos Santos is for real, folks.
I'm the better fighter, and I'm taking my belt back.
Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez, world-class athletes, gigantic men with...
They will meet again.
This is gonna be a fight right here.
It's the one-shot knockout ability of Junior Dos Santos.
Now is my time. I'm gonna knock him out.
Big shot! That was a statement.
I want to be champion again. I'm going to finish this fight.
Unbelievable! The talent culture! How good was that?
It's going to be a war out there.
The winner will be the baddest man on the planet.
I hope I didn't break the mic, but maybe I did. Welcome to all the media. On behalf of Richard Sturm, President of Entertainment and Sports for MGM Resorts International, and President and COO Scott Sabella of MGM Grand, I'd like to welcome all of you today to our press conference for UFC 155, Saturday night in the Grand Garden Arena. I'd like to thank everybody at UFC, the entire team, the fighters, the production team, and everyone for another great calendar year of UFC, and we're looking forward to 2013 for another great campaign. We have first some unfinished business with a great rematch scheduled for Saturday night, and to take you through the press conference today will be Dana White, President of UFC. First, to let you all know our updated odds, Dos Santos is minus 230, Velasquez plus 180, making Dos Santos a little over a 2-1 favorite. So at this point in time, I'd like to introduce Dana White, President of UFC, who will take you through the rest of the press conference today. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Happy holidays. One thing I have to point out here about the heavyweight fight on Saturday night, the winner of Saturday night's fight will win a brand new 2013 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. The winner of the heavyweight fight, the next heavyweight champion, gets a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Who's got the first question?
If I could start with Junior, please. Junior, I guess you tweeted you had a little bit of trouble getting here, correct? A little bit of transportation issues. Can you tell us what happened and kind of how that affected your fight week?
Yeah, I had these problems there in Brazil. My flight used to be, the flight from Salvador to São Paulo normally is 2 hours, and this time was 6 hours. We spent 6 hours in the plane, so I lost my connection to here, you know, so I had some problems to fix everything there, but yeah, we did.
Did it have any impact on your schedule, you know, when you got in, sleeping, training, all those sort of things?
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, just like that, you know, because now I'm feeling good. It's already in the past. I don't care too much about it.
And I'm curious, there was a picture that was tweeted of you training on Christmas Day that raised some eyebrows because you had massive biceps throwing this punch. Have you been packing on muscle during this time away, or was that just kind of the way the picture turned out?
Yeah, I think it's the way the picture turned out. Well, I'm training very hard, like always, you know, and at this time, I think I did the best camp I ever did. You know, was really good. Everything was good for me, so I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling faster. I'm feeling with more experience. So I think I'm better now.
Sure. And for Cain, if I could please, if you could go back to your last fight. Obviously impressive performance by you. Did you make it back in the locker room in time to watch Junior fight? And what were your emotions watching him go out and defend the title you had lost?
Just like always, you know, he wants to keep the fight standing. He did with Frank, and just pick him up, you know, pick him apart on his feet. So just watch what he did, just like he always does.
Was it difficult at all to see him wearing your belt, so to speak?
No, you know, he definitely earned it, you know, and you know, with this fight, I get to go and redeem myself. So.
And one last.
It's not his belt; it's my belt.
Fair enough. And one last question, Cain. So much of the talk has been about your knee injury and with that video that surfaced. I'm curious. your preference, would you prefer that never came to light and that it didn't get talked about? Or are you happy that people know what you were dealing with?
No, that it never came out. You know, don't make you don't make excuses for yourself. You know, I went in and fought, and that was it. I mean, let's stop talking about that old fight. You know, this is a whole new one. So.
Hi, Angel Cordero from the MMA Truth in Puerto Rico. First of all, thank you for having us here, and thank you for that announcement about UFC coming to Puerto Rico in 2014.
All right, brother.
Cain, your face tightened up a little bit when they mentioned the odds for this fight. What do you think about the odds being a little bit over 2-1 against you?
Doesn't matter to me, you know. All that matters is Saturday night, what happens there. So whatever people think beforehand doesn't matter.
Junior, do you expect a longer fight this time?
Yeah, I think it's going to be longer than the first time for sure, you know. Yeah, I think Cain Velasquez is very well prepared for this fight. I'm very well prepared for this fight. You know, the heavyweight division is very dangerous, you know, so you have to be careful. Yeah, I think it's going to be longer.
Last question, Dana. How happy are you that 2012 is going to finally be over for the UFC?
I'm very happy. You know, it was a very weird year, but you know, we hung in there, and it was still a good year. A lot of milestones for us in 2012, but one of them is also the most injuries ever in a year. So hopefully it's behind us, and we don't have another year like that ever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Rodrigo del Campo from La Ciudad Deportiva. First to Cain. As a first-generation American, when you see this press conference, your third title fight, how grateful are you about the opportunity that your parents gave you when they came into this country?
Very grateful, you know. Yeah, I mean, without them having the dream, I definitely would not be living mine. So definitely, you know, this has a lot to do with them, and just through all their hard work and everything.
And with the fans, the way the Latino and Mexican fans have embraced you, how does it feel when the lights go out and you walk into the octagon and you see all the Mexican flags and all the signs and all the people chanting your name?
Feels good, you know, just really proud of where, you know, I come from, where my parents came from, that I can mean that person to all those people. It's just definitely a blessing.
And a quick follow-up to Dana. In a little over 10 years with the UFC, now you have this heavyweight fight with a Brazilian and a Mexican that just resembles a soccer match. Did you ever think about how the fans would be this far in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, the Brazil has been crazy. You know, Brazil took off like a rocket. Brazil took off the way that I thought Mexico would. You know what I mean? I thought Mexico would take off the way that Brazil did, but it didn't. We're still working on it, but there's no doubt, like you said earlier, this guy right here, Cain Velasquez, has a lot of, they were telling me at Fox Mundo, whenever they have Cain Velasquez on, the numbers go through the roof. So it's definitely proof that he has the support of all the Mexican fans.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Question for Dana. This feels to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, like this is the first time that we can truly see the power of network television and how it will affect the UFC, because the first fight obviously was on network television. It left fans wanting more. It was so quick, and now it was obviously the most watched fight in UFC history, so you almost want to capitalize on that and say, okay, now it's going to be on pay-per-view. Based on how you track fights and people ordering them and talking about them days before, do you get the sense that this is benefiting from that big fight in November of last year?
There's no doubt. More people know who these guys are than they did before that fight. But as far as going into, you know, these fights that are around Christmas, you never know. There's two different things. There's a lot of distractions going on with the holidays, but people have been sitting around the house now for the last couple of weeks. There's no real big competition. There's a couple of football games that day, but it should be a good pay-per-view.
And then a quick one for Cain. I believe it was, I should have looked at this earlier, but I believe it was in this venue just a couple of weeks ago, Juan Manuel Marquez had a huge win also from Mexico over Manny Pacquiao. Does that kind of thing inspire you? Did you even know that happened? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Just it's a great motivation. Definitely want to step up and deliver a great performance just like he did. Yeah, exactly.
You met him?
Yeah, I have. We were both going on a plane to Mexico City, and we talked for a little bit there. Yeah.
This question is for Junior. Basically, Cain's capability in wrestling in the department. How much are you prepared for any takedown defense or for his ground game, basically?
Well, I think, like I said, I'm very well prepared, for this fight. I know he's got really good wrestling skills, For sure, he's gonna try to take me down. I know that. And I train a lot my takedowns defense, but I train a lot my jiu-jitsu too. So I'm ready to fight in the ground too. If that happens during the fight, I think I will do very well. But for sure my intention at this fight is to knock him out again.
And this question is for Cain. Basically, how much, importance do you put upon it to reclaim the title, not just for yourself, but for the Mexican people also?
The whole reason I got into the sport was to be the best, to be the champion, and that's the only goal I have in the sport is to hold that title.
A couple questions for Cain in the back to your right. If you look at it in the history of the sport, it seems like when it comes to rematches, the guy who lost the first time very often performs better the second time. It's about 50-50. Do you think, is there anything to that? Is there something to an advantage of having that motivation coming off of a loss to your opponent?
Maybe, definitely have been. I have been motivated for this fight for sure. Been thinking about it now for about a year, and have had a long training camp, but a good one. So, definitely.
And how different was that training camp, or how similar was it compared to the first time you fought Junior?
A lot better now that we just learned from the first fight. Took that into the fight with Bigfoot, but also took it into training camp as well.
A question for Junior. In your last fight in Vegas, you had a lot of Brazilian fans. Something very crazy. What do you expect for this fight? More Brazilian or more Mexicans? Do you think about this?
I think 50% each. It's gonna be for sure. I already saw a lot of Brazilians here at the hotel, and I think for sure a lot of Mexicans are coming. And for sure, it's going to be a good show, because they will be rooting for us, and But I know some Mexicans will be rooting for me too.
Question for Cain, right here. Was it a secret that you were injured the first fight? Do you look at the first fight and think it wasn't really you out there, and do you look at this fight as your chance for redemption?
Just took the stuff I did wrong in the first fight, from a loss. I mean, you always have to, just learn from it. You really can't dwell on it and just say, get down on yourself. You really have to make the best out of it. So take what you did wrong in that first fight and, definitely just bring it on to the rest of your career.
For Dana, please. Dana, it seems like a lot of the build-up to this fight, people are saying, you know what, throw the first fight out the window. You can't learn anything from 64 seconds, two guys not being at 100%. Your point of view, knowing these fighters, knowing the fight game, what do you think? Do we just throw the first fight out and say this is a fresh matchup, or do you think that these guys learned anything from the first time around?
Well, I don't think you can throw the first fight out. I mean, he won by knockout. I mean, it'd be pretty weird to throw the first fight out. But there's no doubt, I think that you're going to see a different Cain Velasquez this fight. You know what Junior Dos Santos does. Junior Dos Santos goes out, he's got great takedown defense. Even if you take him down, he pops right back up to his feet, and he hits you with hard shots the whole time. Every punch he throws has bad intentions. He's got a great jab. His stand-up is awesome. And Cain Velasquez, Just because of one knockout in that fight, people think that he doesn't have a chin. He does have a chin. The guy was undefeated and fought everybody before he fought Junior Dos Santos. And again, I'm not his strategy coach or anything like that, but I'm sure you're going to see, Cain's wrestling and try to get this to the ground and keep Junior to the ground. And if he can do it, he'll be the first guy that has ever done it in the UFC.
Okay. Hi, Cain, this first question is for you. Every time I do an interview with you, the comment sections go crazy. There turns out to be almost like a race discussion on any video with you. And some people have a problem with the brown pride tattoo. And I'm just curious how obviously, it means a lot to be Mexican-American and to win the title. But are there times ever when you just want people to say, what about Cain the fighter, not Cain the Mexican fighter?
I think just my fighting style and everything else just kind of speaks for itself. I'm not very kind of private and everything else, but yeah, I just think my fighting speaks for itself.
I mean, it's obviously it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying It's interesting how many people want to talk about that with you.
I mean, that's definitely a big question that everybody brings up, and it's just like any other question. I mean, you are answering it 100 times, so it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. People who have a problem with the brown pride tattoo are morons. Come on.
Well,
it says brown pride, big deal. The guy's proud to be Mexican. I lived in Boston. Yeah. Every Italian was running around with something Italian on their body. Every guy who was Irish had some Irish tattoo on him. And the list goes on and on. It's ridiculous.
I feel you.
This kind of stuff pisses me off. I hate it. It's ridiculous.
And secondly, Junior, for you, I noticed you're wearing a Nike Dos Santos shirt. I'm curious what the endorsement, what your relationship with them is like, what it's meant to you as a professional athlete, and how you're enjoying the partnership with Nike.
Well, I'm enjoying a lot, for sure. Nike is the biggest and best sports company in the world, and it's very important for me, to be representing them. And it's an honor for me, to be representing them. And well, I think it's really good, for me, and I want to make them proud of the decision,
Do they have you go around as an ambassador and sort of introduce MMA to other parts of the world, or?
Yes, something like that. Now it's just like in MMA we have Anderson, you have John Jones, and now me representing them. So we are for sure do our best.
Thank you.
Dana, question for you. The heavyweight division, more than any other division, it goes in cycles, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you had the wrestling era with Randy and Brock, and I think now it's the boxing era with Junior. Do you think this is a classic wrestling versus boxing, and what is your take on the heavyweight division and all those cycles of styles?
See, I don't think so. I think if you look at Junior Dos Santos, I'd call him a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Yes, he's got great hands, good boxing, and knocks people out, yet good wrestlers can't take him down and keep him down. So he's got great wrestling too, and we haven't seen it yet. From what I understand, he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu too. So I wouldn't call this a striker versus wrestler. Junior Dos Santos does it all, and so does Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez can wrestle. He's stood up. He's knocked people out. I think they're both well-rounded. Is his wrestling maybe a little better than his? I don't know. We're going to find out. Is his stand-up maybe a little better? I don't know. But they both have everything.
Cain, you've been working with Dan Cormier, obviously, and his striking has gone like leaps and bounds. Are you seeing those kinds of improvements in your striking as well?
Yeah, definitely. With just working out with a guy like Daniel, you have to get better. Both guys pushing each other. We spar each other 3 times a week, so we're always going to elevate our game.
Here, I'm Evelyn from Tatami, Brazil. Cigano, I want to ask you, how did your life change since you've won the title, and how is for you going to this matchup as a champion, as the champion of the contestant?
It's way better than a challenger, I think it's a motivation for me, to keep holding this belt. And my life changed a lot. I think I'm living a better life now, and I'm giving a better life to my family. So yeah, the thing's going good, you know, and I love to be who I am. So I want to keep everything going like that.
Junior and Cain, Marcos Perez from Sport TV Global Brazil. When we talk about rematches, here at the MGM, we've seen, for example, Liddell versus Tito, Tyson versus Holyfield. So when we talk about rematches and we have a belt for the rematch for the winner, are we talking about a real rivalry that is growing up? And personally, what is the meaning of a rematch for you? Does it mean you're really turning into great stars when you face something like this?
Yeah, I think so. You know, with having the belt, you know, getting that rematch. For me, it means everything. But as far as the rivalry, I mean, we'll see. You know, if we see each other again, fight again, which could be a possibility.
Oh, I think it's more a rematch for Cain Velasquez. You know, for me, it's another fight. You know, and every fight I take my next fight as my toughest fight ever. You know, so I get very well prepared for all my fights. So that's how I am now. You know, I'm 100% to go there and keep my belt.
Any more questions? Raise your hand. They'll bring you the mic.
For Cain, a lot of people talk about your last fight against Silva being the best fight you've ever had. Would you agree with that assessment?
No.
What do you think is your best performance and why?
As far as performances, I don't really have a favorite one. You know, I think all the wins are special to me, and that's how I see it.
You did look really good in your last fight out, though. How much do you think there was a lot of motivation coming into that fight, coming off your first loss, or how do you explain that performance?
Just you know, prepared. You know, definitely hungry, but just prepared. You know, I think I was, you know, ready all around, and just do what I normally do.
You're right, please. Salvador Rodriguez from Mexican Newspaper Record. I want to ask to the two guys, how means for you, for your countries, for your legacy, this fight? How important is for your career this moment in the life for you?
For me, you know, it's really special. Like I said, I'm living very good opportunities in my life now, and you know, I'm giving better opportunities for my family too. So that my motivation comes from that, you know. So for me, it's very important to keep winning, to keep having these good moments, you know, in my career, because it make me happy and make all the people around me happy. So it's a good sensation.
This is definitely, you know, the biggest fight of my career. But going into every fight, I always think of that, you know, this is the biggest fight. And, you know, I just want to go out there and, you know, just do what I normally do. And that's, you know, go out there, be aggressive, you know, dominate. And I expect that.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Carlos Contreras, also from Mexico, from Milenio Diario. I would like to ask both of you, how would you describe, if Junior, you have to describe Cain as a fighter, and Cain, you have to describe Junior as a fighter, what would you say about him?
Well, I think Cain he's got a good stamina for the heavyweight division. He is a great wrestler, you know, his ground and pound is very dangerous. So he's and his stand-up skills are good too. So he's one of the best of the heavyweight for sure, and that's why it's motivate me a lot, you know, because I want to fight with the best, and right now I think he's one of them.
Junior's well-rounded, good takedown defense, really good boxing, good, good hands, heavy hands. Always comes out to perform always. So, keeping all that in consideration, definitely you have to be on top of your game.
We'll take one more question. Is there one more? No? Okay. Right here.
Yeah, Cain. Junior is now with Nike, and you also had a significant sponsors change. You went from the Throne to Affliction. Can you talk about what this change is bringing to your career and to your fighting style now?
Just with your Throne, I'm good friends with the owner, and at the time I just think he was just like kind of is on the out. I told him, hey man, I really want to be with you and everything else. I love G-Throne. You guys have been with me from the start pretty much. So it was tough, but I think Affliction is a great company. I think their whole style and everything else. I mean, I think I fit that. So.
Junior said earlier that this doesn't feel like a rematch for him, that it's a rematch for you. If you could stand in front of him, which you will probably later, and say how wrong you think he is, what would you say?
I don't know. It is a rematch. I mean, we're fighting again, so I don't know.
I don't think I'm wrong, man. It's a rematch for him, right? I think so.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate it. We'll get some of the stuff out of the way. I'll square these guys off for a photo op. Thank you.